You've heard about it, you've read about it, and now we get to talk about it together. This is a review of the Burj Al Arab in Dubai, made famous for being touted as the only 7-star hotel in the world. Here we are driving to the hotel. Previously, we'd been staying at a really lovely hotel in Abu Dhabi. I'll link that up here. And of course, there's security to get onto this man-made island. Upon arriving, we were greeted with the best smelling hand towels of my life and some Arabic coffee. I don't drink coffee, but my husband was able to appreciate the offering. This is the lobby. One thing that I found really interesting is that in some ways there's 2 lobbies. There's this like lower level lobby where you check in and there's a concierge. There's a restaurant right off the bat. However, on that there's a second floor on which there is a lobby as well, and with concierge and everything. The parking lot here was as crazy as you can imagine. I don't think I did a good job of capturing that. I mean, you can see the Rolls Royce and the Lamborghini, but there was like a wall of G-Wagons and multiple Lamborghinis and multiple Rolls Royces in a parking lot that could probably only fit 20 cars. So this is the second level lobby almost that I told you about. There's a lounge here. There's some stores, like boutique stores. And there's another concierge booth here featuring multiple concierge stations. And just overall, I mean, really beautiful things to look at. So far, so good. So far, the review might be what you've expected. But believe me, there are twists and turns in this review. Speaking of dining options, this is a buffet option as well. And one fun, although disappointing fact was that the Michelin star restaurant in the building, which we had planned to dine at because we love that scene, was for guests, I believe, over 10 years old. And there was another restaurant in the hotel that was for guests over 16 years old. And for those of us that go with really young kids that I like to bring everywhere, I mean, that automatically became a prohibitive experience. I'm not going to lock my kids up in a hotel room while I go, you know, have a meal that would be completely unenjoyable at that point anyways. Now, this is the suite itself. The suite, I mean, it's lovely. I don't have any concerns. The one thing I kept grappling with the whole time was, is this outdated? Is this classy? Is this trashy? Like, where are we on the spectrum? That being said, I'm a sucker for ostentatious and for glitz and glam. So overall, I was okay with the style of finishing. And it's funny, at some very posh places we've stayed, like the Sugar Beach Villa, I'll link up here. I mean, everything is white and so stark. And here there's so much going on. But there's a time and place for everything, and I think this was more appropriate for this setting for sure. So that wall you just saw had like mini bar options, very nice mini bar options, and this is more of the mini bar setup. I was surprised to see alcohol in here, but there it was, and there's a little personal card. There was the welcome package of fresh fruit and chocolates on the table. Another fun fact. This was only the second time in my life I've been greeted with fresh fruit at a hotel, and very well appreciated. The furnishings here, I mean, I think they speak for themselves. So to that end, maybe it's time for some anecdotes from our experience. I was really disappointed in the customer service at this hotel. Upon checking in, the concierge literally broke my credit card trying to insert it into the chip machine. And that meant that the entire weekend until I fixed the issue, I was not able to use my credit card, which, you know, you can imagine if I didn't have other credit cards, I'm stuck in the Middle East with my family on a very, very long travel. Like, we're traveling for months at a time until I can get back to my home branches. And it could, in other words, have had completely devastating and crippling impact. Another thing I didn't appreciate is that the staff were so delusional when it came to making, you know, this is Hermes toiletries, by the way, but again, you know what a bathroom looks like, so that's why I'm taking the time for side anecdotes. The staff would tell you something would be up in 10 minutes. You would have to call 5 more times, and 45 minutes later, maybe you get what you were asking for. You know, though, that level of customer service at a place that touts itself as the only 7-star in the world is mind-boggling, mind-boggling. There were some issues with the suite when we got there, like the jacuzzi tub wasn't working. 3 different people had to get involved over the course of 2 hours. I mean, it's too much. Like, you're at a luxury place. I don't have 2 hours to give you. I didn't get successful by wasting 2 hours at a time, you know, so it's a lot. The customer service was really, really, really incredibly poor for what is required at this level. The mirror above the bed, love that. The bedding, side note, and the feathery, the down-filled pillows, the best ever. The bedding, I have to give them the credit, that was really incredible. Another little bit of a, you know, side note is that, and I can't hold the hotel liable for this, obviously, but the kind of people at the hotel surprised me a little bit as well. Usually I'm used to going to 5-star, you know, hotels associated with certain groups or collections that are more for the kind of crowd that's sort of seen everything, so now we're here to just relax kind of thing. Here, there was a lot of debauchery style driven crowds, I found. And the only reason that that had so much impact is because the customer service that's supposed to be representing the hotel was so lacking that that gap, that void that they should have filled, was then filled by poorly behaved guests. Sort of guests coming from all around the world using this as a dumping ground for their selfie. Side note, since we're also sharing anecdotes, these robes are the smallest, most unenjoyable robes I'd ever had at a luxury hotel. You know, as obviously a curvy person myself, but, you know, somebody that has still been able to fit in every single hotel robe other than this one, it was an embarrassing fit. I mean, I couldn't, like that sort of coat that's like 1 foot apart from getting the zipper down kind of thing, it was embarrassing, like stupid. I shouldn't have had to have had an awkward encounter with a robe at a 7-star hotel. And by the way, my husband's was not male sized either. It didn't fit his. So that was just embarrassing. Like, why is that there? In 2024, we can't make a robe that fits, you know, all people, or at least a lot more people. The toiletry line was Hermes. That's something you probably already know about this hotel. I mean, was that a really nice touch? Yeah, it was. And truth be told, there were probably, I don't know, if you were to buy retail, obviously the hotels are getting a discount, but between the full-size perfume and the full-size cologne and the full-size bottles and the 5 different Hermes soaps, in Canadian dollars, I mean, we're talking easily like $500 to $700, $800 of Hermes product if purchased retail value. Obviously, the hotel, for buying as much as it does, has received this content at a major discount. But given that the suite was a few thousand a night, for literally like a third of the cost to go to the giveaways for the client, that was crazy. And the tote bag. This tote bag was really nice. I know it looks a little like flimsy and just super casual. That was made of recycled bottles. It actually had pretty good structural integrity. But anyways, I mean, if the hotel sucks and the customer experience sucks, and there's another anecdote I'm about to share, I'm not going to go back here because I got to spray Hermes perfume on myself. So I felt like the whole vision wasn't really thought through. And one other anecdote, by the way, was that, so we arrived there kind of like 3:30 by the time we got unpacked in our room, because I told you luggage just took 45 minutes to come. It was between 4 and 4:30, and at that point we were looking for dining options. You know, there's kids involved and there's hungry adults involved, and as a lawyer I, you know, have a schedule for myself I need to keep up with, so we need food to fuel our life. And there was no food available. There was no dining options available until 6:30 at the hotel, except for a lounge, which I was told would serve pizza and fries. I'm not at a 7-star hotel to get friggin' pizza and fries. So luckily, or perhaps unluckily, because the choices that were to follow were not that great either, the hotel, the Jumeirah brand, had other Jumeirah hotels, although not as luxurious as the Al Arab, that they were connected to, like other hotels that you could take a golf cart 10 minutes away and go to. And we landed on this one location called Meat. As you saw, it was one of the top steakhouses in the world, which is funny because, yes, I don't eat any red meat or animals outside of sea animals. And as you can see, all of our dishes were either vegan or pescatarian anyways, with the seafoods and the vegan risottos and all that. You know, this was okay, but I had to go 10, 15 minutes away for it. And, you know, I should have been able to have a meal that matched the hotel I was in at the hotel I was in. When we came back, we had some of these from the mini bar, the camel chocolates, very disappointing, very dried out. I think maybe because they were so expensive, other people haven't really picked them up, but very disappointing. And of course, after getting everybody fed, I do some work for myself, and when I can, I like to get a bath in. And I've posted before in my Wiccan Initiation video that the way I do baths, I mean, it's bubbles to the ceiling or else. So that was that experience. Now, the morning after, of course, there was breakfast involved. The breakfast, I have to say, having had such a disappointing dinner option the night before, not a disappointing dinner, to be clear. I want to make sure that I'm careful here. The restaurant at which we ate, it wasn't like a 1 out of 10. You know, maybe it was a 3 or 4 out of 10, the meat restaurant. But, which, yes, it's starkly disappointing for a place that says it's one of the top 100 steakhouses in the world. But that's my opinion on what the food I ate was, you know, would be ranked as. But the morning after, I was expecting really poor dining options, especially, again, because the only place we could eat as a family was the buffet. And, you know, buffets are not known to be the most exclusive of dining options. So we went there, and I was actually really, really impressed with one aspect of the buffet, and that was this one. It was the healthy dining options. The chia puddings were great. The acai bowls were 10 out of 10 straight. Like, the acai bowls were amazing. And then, you know, you can see here, I'll flip through the photos, like there were other dining options. I liked they had some international options. So my breakfast was an acai bowl, a chia bowl, and some shrimp dim sum, because like I said, sea animals are the one thing I can eat, or the one thing I allow myself to eat. So I wanted to put that out there. The Burj Al Arab, I mean, if you have the money, is it sort of a canon event for you to go spend your time there, take a selfie there, and experience it? Yes, I think you're going to end up doing it regardless of my experience. Not to say that I'm telling you not to go anyways. You, of course, are allowed to do as you please with your own hard-earned money, as I did. But having gone, would I go again? No. The hotels I go to, I have grown accustomed to a certain level of customer service. And it's not about bending over backwards, and it's not about people kissing up and I expect people to sing me songs when I walk through the door. That's not it. We're talking about professionalism, attention to detail, you know, somewhat respect. But at a venue like this, where I think people are going in and they're never coming back, and it's such a revolving door, there's almost no incentive to be as respectful as possible to the client, because the next millionaire is walking through the door in the next 3 seconds. So there's that. Whereas at hotels I usually go to, often part of the Relais and Chateau brand, you know, these are very boutique hotels. Some of them only have 5-6 bedrooms in the whole hotel. On the big side, a Relais and Chateau might have 30 or 40 bedrooms. So when you go there, the owner, usually they're family owned, you know, they want you to come back. They want you to form a connection with them. So inherently the level of respect, while it feels genuine, by the way, again, I'm not talking about stuck up people singing praises as I walk through the door. There's a very high degree of attentiveness and respect, and just being proper and doing right by the fact that people are traveling all around the world to see you. The best part of the Al Arab in terms of value was sort of the goodies that got to come with the room. But at this price range, I have smelled Hermes perfume before. I have used a tote bag made of recycled plastic bottles before. So that is not incentive for me to come back. And unfortunately, with the undisclosed age limits on the Michelin star restaurants and things like that, I just don't even have a reason to go back in the building, even outside of accommodations there. The pool you saw, neither here nor there, so it being completely neutral is again not a reason for me to come back. And overall, this is not a place I would come back to. That being said, I want to thank you for making your time to come to this video. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. I love your support. I love your comments. Please feel free to give this video a big thumbs up and a like, and let me know, what did you think? I spend my own money, so I have no reason to make this place look better than it was. And you know, the only thing I seek to do is just share my experiences with the world and motivate you and help you be more discerning when it's your time to go to these places. So thanks again for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to click subscribe. I will see you on our next luxury video. Thank you.